Hello. For this oral presentation, I chose the economist Karl Marx. This surprised me because I disagree with pretty much everything he believes, but somehow I find him fascinating. Karl Marx was a very influential economist in his time and is still discussed and cited to this day. He was the author of the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. He was also known as the father of communism. He was an activist whose ideas gave rise to violent revolutions and toppled centuries-old governments. Karl was born in Trier, Germany on May 5th, 1818. He was one of 9 children. He was schooled at home until high school. Once at school, the authorities were suspicious of the principal, and as a result the school was raided in 1832. Karl was just an average student. At the age of 17, Karl enrolled at Bonn University in Germany, where he studied law, but mostly spent his time being drunk and acting out. He was more interested in philosophy and literature. He transferred to the University of Berlin and graduated in 1841 with his doctoral degree. And together with Friedrich Engels, Marx created the idea of communism. Communism is an economic theory where there is a classless society and no private property, and everything in theory is socially equal. Everything is also controlled by the government. Marx was considered one of the greatest economists in the world. His ideas and theories were a major factor in the advancement of socialism and communism. Marx studied the history of the world's economies. He studied the way power, industry, and finance are controlled. His ideas influenced a new generation of revolutionaries who were tired of corruption and wanted the new society. The Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto spurred on the communist movement in Europe. It criticized capitalism and had social and cultural ramifications. It led to Karl Marx being removed from Germany. And after the text became more widely read, Marx and Engels updated the book into what we are familiar with today. It is still considered the basis for criticism of capitalism today. Das Kapital was a handbook describing how capitalism works and how Marx will destroy it. It claims an economic model based on private profit cannot be sustained. Workers are exploited by their bosses and are seen as little more than machines. It also claims capitalism will eventually fold on its own. Karl Marx was awarded posthumously the Nobel Prize in Economics for his book Das Kapital. That was the first time the award was ever made posthumously. Many people on the Nobel Prize committee resigned, saying they no longer wanted to be associated with the prize. Some interesting facts about Karl Marx are that he managed to avoid the draft due to his weak chest, most likely caused by his excessive drinking and smoking. He was regularly banned by other countries, and he ended up dying a stateless man. He also wrote love poems to his wife Jenny, which were never published while he was alive. Thank you for listening to me and learning about Karl Marx and the rise of communism. And here are my references.